What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day out there. Guys, we're going to do a little shop time today with the new Kraton XL. Now, any of you guys that watched the last video with this, with the ramp bash, I mean, the thing performed awesome, but staying in a straight line, not so much. I first started working on the camber, making sure that all the wheels were, set right, and there was nothing like that. Nothing going on there. The steering, nothing is binding. It's very smooth, so it's not that problem. So I started talking with some other people, and the only thing really left that I think could be causing this is the differentials. I don't remember what fluids I used in this thing whenever I built it, and I may have put a little too heavy of diff fluids in this thing is what I have a feeling. I was looking at my diff fluids I had here during that time, and I had 50,000, 7,000, which I know I didn't use that, and 125,000. And I have a feeling I may have put the 125,000 weight fluid in the rear. So it's probably a little too thick and contributing to this thing pulling weird. So talking with some guys, talking with Rich Duperbash and some guys, and what I'm going to go with is 20,000 in the rear and 50,000 in the front. I have run this, and I think this is what I might have had in my other Kraton XL. And that one does not do that. So I'm going to pull the diffs out of this thing, drain them, clean the diffs out real good, and put new fluid in this thing. The center still has the silicone earplugs, I do believe, in here. So I'm probably just going to leave that alone because that part I'm not that concerned about. But I have a feeling that these are not allowing one side to lose grip. And what happens, obviously, it tends to pull in directions because you're not getting that kind of limited slip action. So that's what we're going to work on here, guys. We're going to get the disc pulled out of this thing, get the fluid changed, and hopefully get this thing to stay in a little straighter line. All right, well, I got the rear diff pulled out of here. It came out, and while I was doing this, I just noticed this. My rear A-arm is split. And any of you guys have seen that video where I unfortunately flat landed this thing from a rather large jump in height onto concrete. Yeah, I got a split A-arm, so now I got to fix that also. And I don't think I have any more rear A-arms for this thing. Been trying to keep a lot of parts for these. However, I guess I get to order more parts. Anyway, so I got the rear diff out of here, and everything looks really nice on it. And it doesn't feel bad. Like, it doesn't feel too stiff. But I don't remember what fluid I had in this thing, and I got to start somewhere. Because the weird way that this thing pulls is just kind of driving me crazy. But we're going to open this thing up and see what the fluid looks like, I guess. So, guys, I got her opened up here, and there is one thing I noticed right off the bat. There's not much fluid in here at all. I mean, there is a little bit. You know, the gears are wet and everything. But I'm not sure what happened or what I did with the disc storing disc, because they are definitely not filled up the way that they should be. But we're going to fix that. I'm going to clean everything up here. As you guys can see, I mean, I just pulled the gear straight out of here, and this is what I'm working with. So I'm going to clean everything up, and we're going to get some 20,000 in here and make sure she's actually filled up this time. All right, so I took a little moment there, and I hopped on Amazon real quick and ordered a new set of rear A-arms for this thing. But does anybody else get frustrated when you go on Amazon and eBay and certain places like that, and you search for a specific part, right? And they give you the search results, and none of the results are showing what you're looking for. They're all trying to throw all these aluminum A-arms and all this other garbage at you instead of the stock rear A-arms for Kraton 6S EXP, which is what I want. But they try to give me everything else in between. All right, ran over. Let's get the differential together. All right, so all of you are witness right now. This thing is empty. Everything is nice and cleaned out. She's shiny. So now I'm going to go and fill this thing up with a 20. Let it sit. Do this properly. Make sure she sits there for a moment and the bubbles and it soaks in. And I really hope this fixes this, guys, because I absolutely love this car. But trying to use it on ramp bashes and keep this thing in a straight line is a total nightmare. Oh, yeah. Let's get this thing filled up. While the oil is settling there, I figured I'd pass on one more bit of information to everybody. Guys, the name Bars&tone is going to be fitting again. And many of you guys know I went into robotics here for a little bit, and things just haven't been what I hoped. Not for me, not enjoying it, and you got to love what you do. So I'm going back to television. So I'll be traveling a little bit again. Shouldn't really change anything to do with videos or anything like that, but yeah. Going back into television, guys, so you guys might be getting some videos here and there, during some fun trips around the country and some things going around out on the road. But I think this is pretty well settled. It looks nice and full to me. There's going to be not just enough room for the next sun gear to sit on there. So let's get this thing bottled back up and see how she feels. All right, guys. Well, I got it all put back together again, and it feels really good. Like it feels like it should. So only time's going to tell, I guess, on the next run. But let's get this thing put back in there and get the front taken care of and see what the front looks like. Hopefully the front's not empty too. So, guys, I don't know if anybody else does this, and I'm sure somebody does, but, I got tired of sitting here grabbing a hold of my grease container and sitting here smearing it around with my fingers. So what I've been doing is taking a few spoonfuls and throwing it into a Ziploc bag, poking a tiny little hole in the end of it. And then it's quite convenient to just be able to squeeze out, like, frosting. Put the nice little bead right on there. Works perfect. All right, we got the back all back together again, everything in there. Now, one thing I noticed that I don't know when this exactly happened, and you guys know I'm not afraid to show my faults, screw-ups, and everything else. I mean, making mistakes is how you learn. I don't know what happened in my rear end here. I got a ton of play in my knuckles. I took a look at them. All the shims are in there. I don't know if it was from the landing. I don't know if it was like this before. I don't remember checking it. But this is kind of a little learning lesson. But anyway, I just ordered a whole new set of rear hubs for this thing because it seems like that's where the play's at. I don't know if on that nasty landing they got stretched out and the plastic warped. Because like I said, that thing flat landed on concrete from quite a distance. So anyway, I'm not sure that was there before. But we're going to make sure everything is tight and everything is proper for the next run. Just went through my droop again, double checked my camber. Everything looks great. So I'm going to start pulling the front diff out of here next and double check this one and put 50,000 in the front. And like I said, I'm running silicone earplugs in the center. So let's get this on the road. All right, guys. Well, I got the front diff out of it and I got the screws out of it. So let's pop this one open and see what we got in here in the way of fluid. Now, there's fluid in there, but it is definitely not filled where it should be. So, I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't have a Red Bull the day I was doing the diffs on this thing, but they're definitely not filled up properly. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this. I'm going to pull the gears out of it, clean it up, and we're going to get her filled up with 50,000 and get her back together. All right, we got her filled up. She's settling down, spinning the gears occasionally. But we're going to make sure this one is full this time. And, guys, I'm sure there's going to be people out there saying, well, I run 50 or whatever, front and rear. Now, for normal bashing, yeah, that might be fine. When you're just ripping around in the dirt and stuff like that. But whenever you're trying to line up, a fine area at high speed on a ramp, that thing pulling in any direction, you notice it 10 times more. Like if I just ran this at the motocross track, I might not really notice it that much. But on the longer ramp bashes, trying to get this thing up to high speeds and keeping it in a straight line is definitely hard. And it's really hard whenever the thing's pulling all over the place. All right, we're getting the front one in there. And time to go ahead and grease this thing up. This works so nice, guys. Much easier than sitting here smearing your finger around there the whole way around. Works great. All right, well, we got the front end all back together again. Everything fit up nicely. Like I said, steering, everything with the steering is nice and smooth. There is no play in it at all. This is probably the tightest steering I've had on any car. So it's definitely nothing weird binding with the steering or anything like that. So we're going to see how she goes here now. Got everything oiled up, greased up, throw the tires back on us again. We're probably going to wrap this video up. All right, well, obviously she's not done because I got to wait for the A-arm to come and my new rear hubs because, guys, this is really honestly confusing me. I don't know how this happened. I mean, they're terrible. Absolutely shot. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I got new hubs coming. New A-arm to replace the one that's cracked from the flat landing. But all the differentials have the correct fluid in them now. They're filled to the top. Everything looks good with that. Everything else with the car is back together again. Just got a little bit of work to do on the back end. The parts should be here in about 3 days. So, get her back up and running. And hopefully she drives a little straighter next time. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the little video tonight. I decided to do a little work on this thing and bring you guys along. So I hope you enjoyed it, but that is going to do it for today. So until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out.